like you're in a good place. Where are you?
I'm sitting outside. I live in a condo building, and I'm kind of in a downstairs common area. It's San Antonio, so it's 70 degrees, and
Very nice. Very nice. I like that.
yeah. But Crystal invited me to say hi. I would like to actually just duck out and be a customer and just watch and listen to the conversation, if that's all right.
That's all right.
Karen's trying to get in.
All right, but it's good to meet you, though.
It's very
same here.
You as well.
All right.
Okay. All righty. Bye. Oops. Leslie, I don't see you.
There we go.
All right. Awesome.
That's all right. We all froze. So what I was going to ask you was, we were talking about voice of the customer, and you've done a lot of work with voice of the customer. Talk to us about what it means to be actually talking to the real customer and how that helps.
Oh, great question. Great question. So in my experience, in talking with the real customer, I actually find out that I'll say suppliers always make a lot of assumptions, and we tend to make the customer this big and just this big monster of a person or entity, and forget that the customer are people just like us working in a process, and they want to they come to work every day to do a good job. They want to make sure that their processes are working well, and that anything that they are expecting from a supplying source actually helps them to do their job effectively and efficiently. And so when I talk to people about interfacing with the customer, I ask them to try to remove those barriers of thinking about the customer as the enemy, or the customer is always doing something to you, and how can you create a partnership? And in that partnership, it's not about one person winning over the other. It's about really understanding when our two processes meet and join together, or our two products meet and join together in the value stream or the extended supply chain, how can we effectively work together to make sure that we offer the best of the best to the final consumer of both products together?
Yeah, I absolutely love what you're saying there, right? It's about the partnership and partnering with the client or the customer, and about how do we think creatively about making them first and ensuring that they get what it is that they need from us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of times, hey, Karen.
Hey, Crystal. Hey, Leslie. Sorry for technical difficulties.
I had some tonight too with the hotel system. It kicked me off of my iPad, so it ended up ending our original broadcast. So
yeah, I'm in the hotel too, so I'm sure that's part of the problem.
It's the life we live.
But here we are talking about the life of the customer and getting thrown off of the internet by the service, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. So no, that was a really great question, Leslie. I think, a lot of people just have to really look at the customer as a partner, and a partner in the extended value stream, and really ask win-win questions. And it's a little scary trying to be transparent about the information that you share with customers and the things that might expose your dirty laundry. But in order for the process to get better, you have to have those mature conversations. And sometimes you have to help the customer understand the information that you need to actually help you help them.
Absolutely. So Karen, what we're talking about is what it's like to go out and actually talk with the real customer, and to ask them and kind of lay your soul out there and say, how do you help us be better at what we do? So Krista was just sharing some thoughts she had around that. How about you? Do you have thoughts around how to go out and actually get the customer, the client's real input to help us make our businesses better?
Right. And one of the things that I was thinking as I could hear the two of you talking, but you couldn't see me, is that a lot of times that we forget that our customers are people like we are as well. Right. And we make all kinds of we make all kinds of assumptions because we happen to be people. Right. And a lot of times I found what we want, because we're very internally focused. We actually want our customers to want what we want, right? We think we automatically know what they want because that's what we want, but it absolutely may not be so. So I was actually working with some clients today, and when I suggested, when they were talking about a variety of problems that they were having, that, have you asked the actual customer who you know and you speak with every day on the phone? Have you actually asked them how they feel about this? You're giving me all kinds of solutions, all kinds of possibilities, but did you speak to these people, because it's a service organization that you speak with on the phone every day, and ask them, have you thought of actually involving them with you while you're working on this problem? And they were very surprised, and they said, well, we've never thought of that before. But we're people and we talk to each other as people, but yet we never think, oh, we could just ask somebody what that was. It could be very simple. While you are on the phone already with the customer, you can ask them.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely great point, right? Something that we talk about a lot as well, in terms of, we talk to them every day, sometimes a couple times a day, but do we ever really dig into what do they need and want more than whatever issue is, right? So, Crystal, I don't know about you, but do you have experience with really reaching out to customers and clients and digging a little bit deeply to say, what is it that you really need? And then how do you take that and turn that into known and unknown things that the company needs to deliver?
Actually, I do. I was thinking about an experience I had with a former employer, and it was the first time where I actually worked at a company where they were actually more interested in the detractor statements that they received from customers. And so when they would send out their surveys were designed more to solicit, I'll say, detractor responses, so that they can then take that information and start to either collect data about that and then start to use that to look internally to their process for how they actually got better. So this particular company was more interested in, they were interested in surpassing customer satisfaction, and they were looking for customer allegiance.
Absolutely.
And so that for me was a great experience. And then what they did in that particular instance is they would take those responses from the customers, and actually on their part of the daily management tiered board process, there was actually a space specifically for customer feedback. And they would post that at the value stream board for that particular area, and be able to share that information with the value stream people's during their stand-up meeting, but also take specific information that might apply to a sub-sale or upstream process and provide them with the feedback as well.
That's just an awesome idea. I can picture that in my mind's eye, right? That stand-up board with that kind of feedback that's in the place where the work is done, where people actually get to feel it and sense it, as opposed to just, it's esoteric client feedback.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes I think, and I see this often as people are, standing at huddle boards, is that the customer is speaking to us, but they're speaking to us in many ways. So, we'll be looking at a board, and the team will be talking about customers who've left, and we can see that reflected. But our customers, they don't have to be speaking to us with their voice. They're actually voting with their feet, right? And
they are.
Right. And they're speaking to us in those ways. But are we listening? And how do we actually then coach people and help people develop to listen to those things that aren't necessarily, okay, well, we talked to our customer on the phone and they told us everything was all right. But actually, then what we're seeing is this drop in retention, or this drop in customers, who are staying with our service, that those are a kind of voice of the customer too that I think we often miss. I don't know if you ladies have that experience as well.
I do have that experience. And it's one that I can't say I have an experience where we've actually had how to overcome that and really have people pay attention to that. Because it seems like people were just naturally respond differently to direct information when it comes to the customer. It's almost like they have this sense that, well, we have enough other problems going on to focus on. You know, if the customer's not screaming or barking at us, then they don't seem to respond differently. So that's one I'm going to think more about. How do they actually do that?
Yeah.
We have a question coming in.
Yes. Does it matter that everything we do is completely inconsequential, that will be forgotten much longer than will be remembered? That's a great question, right? At least I'll say from our company's standpoint, we always feel that somehow we are consequential, right? That we're connecting directly with our clients. I don't know that we ever actually reflect upon what it's going to mean when that client is gone, right? Our focus is always trying to connect with that particular client and engage them in a way that we partner with them to deliver great service for them, and that they enjoy partnering with us, and that they feel that they got value for what we delivered.
Awesome. Where are you flying right now?
I know, what a great question. Somebody's
I
playing.
know. That's awesome.
It really is, right?
Right. I think one of the other things is that oftentimes when, you know, people talk about lean, they talk about, okay, it's a very internally focused process, right? What we're doing is we're going to be more efficient. We're going to, you know, speed up the process. But in having that really internal focus, how do we actually include, you know, what our customer wants? So maybe people feel inconsequential because they don't feel taken care of. But if what we're really doing is focusing on the customer to deliver value to the customer, how do we really listen in a variety of ways to hear beyond what they're really telling us, to see what their problems are, right? So we can actually help them solve their problems, because nobody buys a product or service unless it's going to solve some kind of problem for them.
Absolutely. 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 I'll have a question for you guys. Have you actually worked in an organization where the company had zero focus on the customer?
I've never been in a company that had no focus on the customer. Now, we might have thought we knew what the customer wanted versus going out and actually asking them. But I think at all points, in any place I've ever been, we always felt that we were listening to what the customer needed and wanted from us.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that I've worked with some organizations who I believe have been focused on other things for a variety of reasons, and they've made conscious decisions not actually to focus on what their customers need, or not to spend time to actually ask their customers, because whatever it is, they had the idea that they were going to focus on something else. But I think, again, here's the problem. If we don't have a customer, any customers, we don't have a business, right?
Absolutely.
So if we don't focus on that, how does anything else? If you don't know what your customer wants and requires, how do you know if anything that you're doing is actually an improvement, right? You can change a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah.
But who are you working for?
Right.
One of my favorite things we've been working on as of late has been actually picking up the phone and making appointments and going out and sitting and seeing customers. So not the survey for 7 questions, get back to count the numbers and see what it says, but actually asking them, what do you love about our service? What do you hate about our service? What could we do better? What keeps you up at night as a client?
Yeah.
The kinds of things that'll actually give us some insight into who's doing business with us and why. And that is making a dramatic impact in terms of setting the strategy for where we're going to go next.
So how'd you get the organization to be open to doing that?
Honestly, we have a new SVP who's very much familiar with doing real live voice of the customer and with some experience with it, and he drove it. So I wish I could tell you it was just my complete and total ability to but I would be absolutely flat out lying. He came with that experience, and because we brought it, we got to do it. But because we're doing it, we're watching exact after exact after exact, like
Gotcha.
and go, oh my God, we thought they wanted this, and holy cannolis, they really wanted that. When we ask them, right, our biggest detractors, people that have left us, right?
That's what I'm going to say. Those are people with.
They are brutally and directly honest, and
honest.
You ask for a better gift than the opportunity to set your business up to mitigate that kind of feedback.
Right. Sorry, ladies, I had to get up and find my plug. My phone was dying.
No problem.
Wasn't have any to use the phone.
Have any of you ladies also experienced working in an organization who has trouble determining who their customer is? Have you been involved in that kind of discussion? And the long discussion, is it an internal customer? Is it an external customer? Is it a primary customer? Do we have more than one customers? What do you do when you get involved in those kind of discussions?
Yeah, so I actually am working with a company in a similar situation. And so one of the first things that I do when it comes to value stream mapping is establish. So we love to talk about, the actual processes where we transform our service, or we do those, take action. But one of the first things I do is I create a customer team. And the customer team is that team that goes out and creates a customer profile. So who are all of our customers? And then I want to understand customer behaviors. What is their order pattern? What kind of information do we get from them? How does the information come in? How accurate is the information? How often do we communicate back to them? Do we engage them in planning and so forth and so on? So in creating that customer team, if you will, we create a whole profile around how customers' behaviors, how their information may impact or influence what happens within our four walls. And so in doing so, thank you. In doing so, I find that a lot of organizations have no clue. They're either, especially in manufacturing, they just rely on, information coming in from a forecast or through MRP or, people making orders, but they don't ever stop to really establish the behavioral patterns, to look for opportunities as to how they might be able to better serve their customers. And then they don't, in turn, seek feedback about how well they're servicing the customer, other than things like on-time delivery. But, I tell people all the time, that's not the only customer metric. And waiting until they have a quality issue is not often the best thing to do either.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but it's interesting. I'm working with a client who the majority of their business is to their sister distributor company.
Okay, so you got customers, little customers with a little c.
Yes, and so they struggle to get a clear, a clear picture of customer as they would say like an OEM or a direct user of their product. And so they also don't get a lot of feedback in terms of how well they serve. So it's quite interesting.
Interestingly, in a service operation, I find that we know who our clients or our customers are because we're dealing with them on a routine basis. But in manufacturing, it's 3 levels removed, right?
Yes,
because you're making so-and-so who's selling to so-and-so who's distributing to such and such. Eventually gets to the mom and pop shop, but the mom and pop shop is the one you actually care about as opposed to the 6 levels in between, right? They're just vehicles to get to who is really the customer of us, and in turn their customer of the product and that we're purchasing. And I find it's actually harder in manufacturing to get your arms around who the customer is.
Who the customer is.
Than it is in service. And I thought that was upside down, but I really found that to be consistently true.
It's so odd. I went to dinner tonight with some colleagues, and we were talking about how lean people seem to want to just make improvements everywhere that they go. And one of the guys at the table was talking about, he took his granddaughter out for an ice cream. And it's in a small town. And the ice cream line was literally like wrapped around the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he finally got up to order the ice cream, and of course he was patient because it was for his granddaughter. He looked inside and he thought, oh my God, this is a mess. And he just said to the lady that was taking his order, he's like, I can help you guys. I can help you rearrange some things so you can work a lot better. And he said that the owner was actually there standing behind the lady and said, are you for real? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, well, can you come back tomorrow and help us out? I was like, how cool is that? The customer telling you, I like your ice cream, but I don't want to wait, an hour to get ice cream. I'm only doing this for my granddaughter. And he went back the next day, helped the guy out, and he said the guy gave him free ice cream for the whole summer.
There you go. I was in a restaurant one day. One of those restaurants is like a breakfasty place, but then they've got like a store outside the front, so it's like a 2-piece part. And they've got all these T-shirts and stuff that they sell out in the front end. So I'm in there with a really good friend of mine, wonderful mentor of mine, lean leader, just a tremendous guy. We go in, we have our breakfast, we come out, and there's a young lady, and she's folding T-shirts. And she's folding them just in this ridiculous way. And Michael says, have I got a thing for you? I got to show you this. He runs out. I got this T-shirt folding video, right?
Yes.
He's like, I got this T-shirt folding video, and I'm just going to show you how to do this. Just going to sew it better and sweat. Do it that way. He's like, I can save you hours. No, we have to fold it this way. He's like,
oh, I love that video.
It's people who do this. You can't stop yourself. It's like a disease. You have to step in and help people when you're watching them do something just backwards. You cannot stop.
I had that experience in a new pizza chain restaurant near our house that we went to, and it's like a little pizza assembly line, and then there was a bottleneck at the end of the line, and so my husband and I were standing there chatting, about all the variety of different problems, and suddenly, someone came up behind me and said, you've been here like 5 minutes. How are you seeing all of these kinds of things? He said, you're really right about this, but how are you seeing them? My husband said, don't worry, she's not your regular customer. Don't worry about this. And then later on, the person who was the manager came back and pulled my husband aside and said, is she like that at home all of the time?
He said, yeah, pretty much.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah,
I know.
That's it, pretty much.
I know, but if people just understood, voice of the customer, we're here, we're seeing this stuff.
That's right.
And think about how many times you go to a restaurant, actually, and something is not right with your meal, it's not right with the service, and the server comes over and asks you, how was everything? And you say, well, not so great. And sometimes they say, I'm sorry. Right? Sometimes if you're really lucky, they give you some money off your bill, or they send the, manager over. But think about what the difference would be if every time someone actually said, well, things weren't so great, they collected that information and fed it back to the kitchen, or looked for the root cause and worked to improve.
Yes.
Because a lot of times if you go to a restaurant, you don't have a great service experience, and you actually never even say anything. You just never go back.
Exactly.
Right?
No,
but you just never go back.
You never go back.
Yeah.
I have a funny story. I have 2 funny stories, but I'll tell this one. So whenever I call up a service, a 1-800 number for, cell phone or whatever, and they always start, the automated thing goes, this call is being recorded for quality assurance. So when I get the person on the line, I go, so this call is being recorded for quality assurance, right? So here are a few suggestions that I have, so that I don't have to wait and listen to that stinking music for 3 minutes. And the person on the, and if they're, if they've helped me through their process, through my problem, then I'm always nice. But a lot of times I'm like, I wonder if these calls really are being recorded for quality assurance. And if it's horrible, I always try to leave some suggestions of how they can make things better, especially if people are so into reading those scripts instead of really listening and trying to really help to solve a problem. And then they turn around and say, was that helpful? No.
Hopefully whatever you need is one of these three answers. Let me start with number one, which is the most likely answer to whatever it is that you want, even though I help you. Let me help you with that.
Exactly. And then the other one was, I was telling some guys I went to the doctor last week, and the intern came in and she said, "Miss Davis, I'm going to try my best not to ask you a bunch of redundant questions." And I said, "Did they put a note in my file?" She goes, "No, why?" I said, "Because the last time I was here, I asked the intern, why are you asking me the same questions that the lady who took my weight and blood pressure just asked me? Did she not write those down and write the responses down and share them with you?" And so I said, an improvement process would be, if you're going to ask questions, ask different questions and questions relevant to my visit, that the previous person didn't just ask me. So I thought that was funny. I said, I think they must have put something in my file, or at least maybe that intern took that response back to the doctor's office and had them change it. Because when after I asked her that and started laughing, she said, no. She said, but I hate those questions. I hate asking those same questions. And I was like, well, you should help. This is your opportunity to help make an improvement in the process, because patients hate it too. I literally just answered that question 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and the thing is, really, these are all the ways that customers are speaking, right? We don't need to send out a long survey afterwards. We really have to listen when they're there. And then once we've listened, have something to do to feedback that information, right? And a process that we can really collect it. And then, well, what do we do? Because it's great to have voice of the customer, but in the end, if we don't do anything with the voice of the customer, really, what was the point of collecting it? We might have been listening, but we definitely weren't hearing.
My big question at the doctor's office, I have an earache. Why do you care how much I weigh?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. The lady asked me to step on the scale. I said, it's more than the last time. How about that?
I take off my shoes, my phone comes out, my coat.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So, yeah, too funny. So, ladies,
I really think, I don't know about you guys, but honestly, we've been doing a ton of work around this, around really reaching out and talking to clients. We spent the last 4 weeks with a team of about 60 people out collecting 4 to 5, and teams of 2, so 30 teams trying to collect 3 to 5 pieces of voice of the customer information from actual real face-to-face or at least live client interactions. Get about 150 pieces of feedback, and it has been just an amazing gift what they will tell you if you ask. And I just seriously love that. They'll tell us what they love and they'll tell us what they don't like. And it is so powerful when you have that and step back and you actually read through it. You're like, dang, right? We're doing some stuff really well. We're doing some stuff very poorly. And if we focus on the poorly and keep the stuff we're doing well, we are going to be, all right, we're going to be best in class. And isn't that what we all want to be? And it's been just so exciting going through and doing that and learning it.
Right. And that's best in class for your particular customers, right? Because you work in, a payroll organization, but customers from a different payroll organization may want different things, right? Because all of our customers have chosen us for different reasons. So you're finding out what your specific customers want, not just some industry benchmark, not just, a generalization. You're finding out what your particular customers who choose your particular company really want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Let me ask you a question. So I'm assuming this is the first time that you guys have ever done this Leslie. So, how are you preparing the organization for hearing? I'll say having the appetite for hearing maybe a lot of the negative things, and then saying, how are you going to prioritize what you actually action?
What we're really doing is we're looking at we segmented our client base.
Okay.
Right, happy clients, at-risk clients, clients that have left us, and clients that we tried to sell to but never came to us. And we said, let's see what each one of those particular clients
Hello?
has to say to us. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, we can't see you.
Is this better?
No, actually, we can't see you because you don't have a picture, so it won't let you in. It's just a dark space. We can hear you though.
Who is this?
Did you all have a question for us? We've been just chatting about going out and visiting with our clients and our customers to see what kind of feedback they've got. Do you have any thoughts around that or questions?
Well, I do have some questions, but not about the topic that you're talking about. Is that okay?
Okay, alrighty. Thank you.
So is it okay if I ask them?
Ask one and we'll see if we can help you. And if it fits, we'll talk to you. How's that?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to.
No, go ahead. What do you got for us?
Well, it's about this blab thing.
I don't know that we're going to be able to help you with that, but we can try. We're pretty new at Blab, but we're having an awesome time with it. How about you?
Oh, I'm sorry. But I don't know if you're. What?
What's your question?
What'd you say?
What was your question?
Hello, your microphone's breaking up.
Chandler, what's your question?
My question is, how do I tag someone in like a comment?
You can put in there.
I don't think, Chandler, we're going to be able to help you. I think you're going to have to look for one of the other
Yeah.
Blabs that's going to be able to answer for you. I apologize for that, but I don't think we can help you tonight.
What about the other lady? What was she saying?
About tagging someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a blab, or do you want to actually? What do you want to tag them to do?
I wanna tag them in like a comment. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so then if you're see their name chat funnel, you just click on their name, and then their name will say.
What'd you say again? I could not hear that.
You click on the person's name in the chat funnel.
Wait, your microphone is breaking up really, really bad, and
So Chandler,
Okay,
she's saying that you click on the name and then you can actually tag them and ask them a question. How's that?
well, I mean,
But that's not really what we're chatting about tonight. So while we want to help you, it's really not our specialty. So we're going to go on with our other conversation, if that's all right with you. I'm sorry we can't help you more. All right. So
All
back
right.
at the ranch.
And Crystal, somehow we've lost your picture.
Yeah, you're coming up as poor internet signal. I'm sorry about that.
Uh-oh. Okay. Let me see what I can do about it.
There you go. But what I was saying was that what we're getting is really interesting feedback, and our execs are actually super open to it. I'm actually kind of surprised, right? So they're saying, we love it when you do this, this, and this, and we absolutely hate it when you do this, this, and this. And we're looking at that and saying, well, how do we look at our whole service model and set our service model up differently so we respect what they like and improve what they dislike? And to me, that's a real that's a powerful thing for people to do based on feedback from our real customers, right? To actually look at how do we want to think about changing who we are as a business.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I was describing with that other company that really paid more attention to what the detractor statements were. And they took those to actually action improvements around those. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's very, very awesome that that would be a great blog on LinkedIn, Leslie, to share that, you know, a business is actually going out soliciting the feedback personally from the customers. That would be great.
Yeah, that's been pretty cool.
Karen,
you've done similar things, have you not?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to agree with you, Leslie, that also it's really important to not just talk to the customers that you have now, you know, the ones that you know that are happy, because we all want to hear, you know, what happy customers say. But those customers that have left, you know, they are a great source of information. And in general,
very
as you, Leslie, it's, I know, shockingly, right? They are absolutely happy to spend the time and give you a piece of their mind, which is very valuable. And it's, you know, really, really valuable information. And unfortunately, what we've also found is it's oftentimes what they told us before they left.
That you didn't pay attention to.
And we were not paying attention to that. Or, you know, someone might have heard something, but again, just like in, you know, the restaurant, you know, not really listening, right? So are we hearing what people are saying? Do we have a mechanism, even after we hear something, to do something with that information, right? Because if we don't, we'll be going out and talking to them later and finding out why they left us.
So true.
Yep.
So very true. Interesting. Very interesting. Makes me think differently about what I need to be doing now that I'm a business owner. Making sure.
Yeah, right. We all got to be sharing what it is that's working for us and not working for us, and really asking our clients to give us their heartfelt feedback, right? Well, when they realize we're not trying to sell them another product, right?
Absolutely.
What we really want to do better than we are, we find they have been so generous in their feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So
awesome. Back. Where are you today, Crystal, anyway? What town are you in?
I'm close to you. I'm in Buffalo. Well, I'm actually in East Aurora.
Really? If I knew that, we could have done this together. It's only an hour.
Well, I had to do dinner tonight. Yeah, I had to do dinner tonight with the team. So
good
otherwise,
for you.
Yeah. I was out for dinner also. Wonderful dinner, and it was all women. So we had all women for dinner, and now ladies of lead. Yep.
I know, it was so funny when Mark came on. He was just in the chat, and I said, "Do you want to get in the hot seat?" And he was like, "Well, it does say it's called ladies in lead." And I said, "Oh, but we love the guys."
We love our boys.
Yeah, that's it.
It's fun. We haven't had a lot of interaction tonight. It's been a little fun talking to our friend the pilot, right? Right? That's very cool.
I know.
I've never chatted with anybody who was flying a plane while they were blogging with us. That's cool.
That was cool. That was cool.
It was very fun. Maybe we'll get a little bit more energy when we get around to this next week, because it's a great topic, and I really wish we could get people to engage with us and really think about it from how do they drive their business to be better.
Yep. And I think if we might need to stick with later in the week, think about the timing.
Yeah, that Thursday slot felt better. Right?
We had a lot more. We had a lot more interaction. So I think maybe Thursday nights or And maybe you know what? Why don't we do some experimenting? Maybe next week we'll try Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
Ooh.
And
PDCA.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And see, and then probably get the poster out earlier in the week.
Yeah,
So, like,
actually,
maybe on
people,
Sunday.
people this week recognizing last week's poster, right? So I just think, a little more lead time, a little more predictability will help get us some folks, because we all have a decent number of followers, and I think they're all interested in the conversation. So it'll be fun.
I think they're scared of the platform. I was talking before you chimed in, Leslie. I was talking to Mark about that, getting people to shift over from LinkedIn to the Blab platform. So I don't know. I haven't seen him using it a lot. So I was really surprised when he chimed in.
Yeah, but I'd see people like Sam and stuff. Like, it's a great platform to get voice out there. So hopefully it'll take off.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm a trailing edge technology person, so I'm like thinking I'll do it myself, right? Somewhere on the front end.
I know.
And actually, when you see it on the screen, it's really fun. It's really just talking to your friends.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think. What do you guys think about sending Tracy? Oh God, why did I just lose her last name? And I'm thinking, yes, thank you. I was thinking about a high school classmate when I said Tracy, but Tracy Richardson, sending her an invite to join us.
I think that would be an awesome idea. And I think that we got a chance to maybe talk a little bit about it on Lean Post or one of those, right? Just about the best practices and the partnership and the dialogue perspective.
Yes. Yep. And like I said, I think, I see so many people asking questions in these chat groups and forums, and this would be great. A great way to just
live dialogue.
And maybe for some people too, is just get over the hump of try it once, right? It's fear of the unknown. You try it once and you find out, okay, actually, you can be in your hotel room, you can be in your living room, and it's
anywhere.
And
it's super easy.
Yeah,
super easy. So. Awesome job, ladies. Awesome job. And make sure when you sign on that you click the little Twitter thing to share with your followers that you're live.
Yep. Told little bird and told my aunt.
You told your aunt on Facebook?
That's what it says for Facebook. Tell your aunt. I think it's the old people technology. Tell your bird and tell your aunt.
I love it. I thought that all the kids have moved on to Snapchat and Instagram and all these other things.
Yes. It's old people that are on
Facebook.
On Facebook. I want to talk to the old people. I don't want to talk to the 20-somethings. I want to talk to the 40-somethings. I want to talk to them about what we're doing in the world, right?
Exactly. So when I saw that, tell your aunt, I thought, hilarious. But I love it. So
all right, ladies, we'll chat.
All righty.
We're going to chat Wednesday next week. We'll pump it up a little bit, see if we can get some more participation.
Oh,
all right, ladies.
What?
You guys will have to carry on Wednesday without me. That's the day after my surgery. I forgot about that. I might still be medicated.
I think actually,
really fun, though.
I think the work that I'm supporting next week, I think I'm only going to be able to do Thursday. Actually, I don't think I can do Wednesday night next week.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out next week.
We'll chat amongst ourselves. Thursday sounds good. You ladies have a great night. Okay, it was really fun.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Well, okay.